Hey everybody, what's going on? Steve here. Today we're going to be doing a comparison video for the RX10 Mark II versus the Sony A6300. These are two cameras with very similar specs, so let's see how they stack up against each other. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so we're going to start things off with a low light test. I did my best to match the settings for most of these comparisons. But for the slow motion, I did vary it a little bit. So to start things off, we've got 24 frames per second and 4K, shutter speed 1/50th f3.5 gil. So what you're going to notice while we're doing the test is that the RX10 II does have some grain throughout the image, even at ISO 500, which is to be expected from the smaller sensor, but the grain isn't really that bad. The 6300 on the other hand performs amazingly in low light thanks to its bigger APS-C size sensor. You can see all the way up to 6400 I'd say is usable, which is very impressive. The A6000 wasn't anywhere near that. The RX10 Mark II maxes out at 12,800 and the A6300 maxes out at 25,000. I wouldn't use footage from either of these with their ISOs maxed out, but it's there if you ever need it. Okay, so next up we're going to do a 4K detail comparison. First up we've got the A6300. This is in 4K, so feel free to take a look on your 4K monitor. As you can see, when I punch in here, it retains a lot of detail, and what you want to do is pay attention to Kirby's eyes. Look at the detail there. I'm going to punch back out again so you can see exactly how far we're zoomed in, and the kind of image quality that we're getting out of this. This is some really nice 4K footage. Best I've seen so far. So let's switch over to the RX10 II, and as you can see, we've still got a pretty damn decent image on here. It's a little less detailed than the A6300. We're going to punch in. And as you can see, just around the eye area, it's a little more blurry. And I did manual focus, so it's spot on. And it still looks pretty good though. Like, considering how much we punched in on this image, the detail both of these are retaining is amazing. But as in the ISO performance test, the A6300 wins. One more feature both these cameras have is the 120 frames per second slow motion. So I tested them out side by side, and to be completely honest, I couldn't tell the difference between the two of them. So I would call that a tie, except for the fact that the RX10 Mark II has the high frame rate mode. So that means that it can record all the way from 240 frames per second, which is pretty usable, all the way down to 1000 frames per second. Which isn't exactly usable in professional circumstances, but if you clean it up a little bit, it doesn't look terrible. Just make sure that you use some form of noise reduction, or else you're going to see a lot of aliasing, wire, and noise in the background because it shoots at 1000 shutter speed, so that's pretty dark. When it comes to comparing the bodies from a video perspective, I have to pick the RX10 Mark II. It's got a more solid feeling body. I love the grip. It's got the zoom rocker. It's got more buttons and dials. It's got the headphone jack, which is more important than a lot of people would think, although you can probably find a solution to that on the A6300. I think the screens are about the same. The viewfinders are about the same. But it's just that the RX10 Mark II is a more mature video camera, especially with the built-in ND filter. And of course, you've got a pretty decent built-in lens, so you don't have to worry about getting dust on your sensor. And of course, you've got the LCD display on the top of the RX10 II, and even the movie record button is in a better location. They both have dust and moisture resistant magnesium alloy bodies. The menu systems are the same, and of course they've both got custom picture profiles that you can program. Well, the A6300 isn't much improved from the A6000 as far as photography goes. It is definitely better than the RX10 Mark II, so if you need something that does stills and videos, I would suggest going with the A6300. But if you need something more video than photo, I'd suggest going with the RX10 Mark II. And let's not forget that there is some overheating in 4K with the A6300, while I've never experienced that on my RX10 Mark II. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm not going to declare a winner. I'll let you guys decide. You can leave a comment down below. I personally decided to hold on to my RX10 Mark II and I returned the A6300. But that's just my personal opinion. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.